Hi, thanks again for joining us this evening. We're continuing our series of short devotional thoughts drawn from Jesus' final conversations with his disciples and his last days on earth. It's our hope these videos will help prepare us for our evening worship service on Friday, April 15th at 7 p.m. That's a focused time of prayer, worship, and devotion, which we hope will draw us closer to the foot of the cross. We'd love for you to join us in person here at the building or live streamed on Facebook and YouTube. And again, that's this Friday, April 15th at 7 p.m. Tonight, another one of our teens, Kailani Dawson, shares a devotional thought with us from John chapter 12, verses 37 through 43. In these verses, John summarizes how different people reacted to Jesus' message and miracles. Drawing from the prophet Isaiah, John says many disbelieved Jesus because their hearts were hardened, and even many of those who did believe were afraid to say anything for fear of the authorities. Kailani shows us how loving Jesus is more important than loving our own reputation. Now, this is a tough but extraordinarily important lesson, not just for our teens, but for Christians of all ages. And I really appreciate what Kailani has to say. Thanks for joining us tonight, and may God bless you with this message.
Reputation. It can mean something different to anyone. To me, it means how other people see you and what you strive to be. A shadow that follows behind you and the things that people watch as they judge your character. Most kids and even adults want to be something that they aren't. The big question is, who defines your reputation? Is it Jesus, or is it the people who see you as someone that you aren't? Most people say, yeah, I want to be like Jesus. I base my life off of being like Jesus, but it's hard. And the truth is, it is hard. Because you have to realize that Jesus has to be the most important thing that influences your reputation, and you have to be okay with it. You have to be okay with the things that people said about him and the way that he fits in with a world obsessed with reputation. Things like that he used to be compassionate, truthful, and a friend to sinners. It takes a bigger person to look past a person's mistakes, and that is what Jesus specialized in. In the church, we most likely want people like us, successful and upper class. The disciples in the Bible weren't like this. Many of them were low class, fishermen. Jesus used the poor to contradict the rich. With our ideas of reputation, we often look past this and focus on trying to be known as the wealthy, the beautiful, the successful, mostly everything as Jesus started out not being. To find this balance, you have to offer what is important to you to God to let him alter it. You have to find the balance between what the world wants you to be and what you should spiritually aspire to be. The second big question is, how do I control reputation? You could try your hardest to be faithful in the image of God, but it just takes one person or decision to change anyone's perspective of you. Most people would then say, okay, then I have to change. I have to become different to prove them wrong. That is not the way to go. You don't have a reputation for those people. You change it for the people who care about you and for what God wants. The times when your reputation gets out of hand is when you are chasing some value that you want to do, but God has another plan. You want God to look at you and say, wow, this person is devoted to letting me define their reputation, and I am proud. We want God to look at us as a church and say, they accept everyone who's willing, and I am proud. We want God to look at our world and say, they respect and are humble with each other, and I am proud. Christians are the method behind the madness in this situation, because it is our job to let the world know about Jesus and how they can take their reputations and God's plan and make it reality. In Philippians, Paul discusses how he thought he was the perfect model person. He did everything he was supposed to and was a very religious guy. Then Jesus comes along and Paul says, I have been doing everything wrong. Everything I thought and was and believed was garbage. So he started over. And so today, can you find a place in your heart to speak to God and alter your reputation to be the image of God, not what the world wants? what God wants, because God will always be there with an answer. Thank you and happy Easter.